So there was a certain iPhone that Apple made not that long ago that kind of started this somewhat of like a generation of iPhones where Apple kind of makes just so people don't buy them. Now, what does this mean? Well, these are almost not like a lost leader, but these are just iPhones that Apple just kind of places in the way. That way you kind of look at that iPhone and you're like, oh, why would I buy this one? I'll just buy the one above it. And then they'll basically go up and just buy those specific devices. So it started kind of with the iPhone minis. When Apple made the iPhone 12 mini and 13 mini, I generally think they were just making those iPhones so then people would look at them, look at the price tag and be like, why would I just buy this one? I'll just buy the bigger version for this much more. And I think it kind of worked because for the most part, nobody was buying the mini iPhones. And more people, I think, in turn, were buying the standard, sized iPhones at that moment. But this has kind of transitioned into a different strategy. Now that we have the Plus iPhones, I don't think Apple wants you to buy any of the Plus iPhones, in my opinion. They would rather you basically buy the higher end iPhone. Apple wants you to spend more money. It just makes sense. They're a business. So they purposely, in my opinion, make these Plus iPhones and mini iPhones in order for people to kind of upgrade in a way. So when you look at the iPhone 15 Plus, let's say you're going to the Apple store and you're like, hey, the iPhone 15 Plus is here. It's, $899. It's a good looking iPhone, has a lot of capability, whatever. I'm pretty sure Apple wanted to narrow the gap from starting with one iPhone and going up to the other. So when you look at the iPhone 15, you're like, oh, that's $799. Oh, the Plus is only $899, but for $100 more, you can get the Pro. Why would I not just spend an extra $100? Just from that little transition, you just now spent an extra couple $100 to Apple. So that kind of stuff happens all of the time, and it's so funny. And Apple kind of just puts those specific iPhones there just so people will go ahead and kind of feel that, can kind of justify upgrading. So that's what that specific scenario is. And I've seen that happen so many times, it's not even funny, but it's a very, it's totally understandable. I don't think it's a big deal. It's just business. So what ends up happening for the most part is that Apple will go through, support these specific devices. They'll go and, push them out, and then they'll kind of consider them like stopgaps. So you're only spending $100, more. Before, there was like a $200 difference between like the standard model, the iPhone 13 and the iPhone 13 Pro. Now that's narrowed the gap even more. And that's why I think ever since Apple started doing the Plus iPhones and they've narrowed the gap in the prices and the differences, that's why the Pro models of last year sold so well. The 14 Pro, I think, was one of the best selling iPhones of last year. And the reason for that, in my opinion, was because Apple basically went through and they, kind of created these like, kind of a laddered approach sales where they start at one, they kind of climb the ladder for the one iPhone to the other, and they end off at one of the more expensive iPhones. So personally for me, I think that's why Apple doesn't want you buying those iPhones, is because they want you to spend more money on the more expensive ones. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that will mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.